This segment sponsored by Laub and Laub.
Welcome back to NSN Daily. We are in the Legends Bay Lounge, powered by Circa Sports, because it is time to dive into Chris Murray's mailbag. If you don't know, Chris takes your questions on Sunday, puts them in the Monday mailbag at nevadasportsnet.com, and then here on NSN Daily, we talk about it Tuesday. As you mentioned earlier, 25 to 30 questions. We don't have time for that on this edition, so we've picked out 4 of them. We start with Quinn Lightfoot, a fixture in the mailbag. What group of 5 school will be playing in a New Year's Six Bowl this season?
It's a good question because you see some of the better teams in the group of 5 in recent years, your Cincinnati's, your Houston's, your UCF's, your BYU. They all are joining the Big 12 for this season. So there's been 9 iterations of the New Year's Six. 5 of the group of 5 participants are those teams I just mentioned. So I think there is kind of a void on who's going to step up and take the spot that Cincinnati or UCF usually fill. Last year it was Tulane, which made it to the Cotton Bowl and beat USC. I think they're still the favorites to grab that spot. 10 starters back, their head coach Willie Fritz back, their star quarterback Michael Pratt, who's getting some Heisman buzz back. But I do think right below them, Boise State would be my number 2 team, UTSA from San Antonio, my number 3 team. They've won 30 games over the last 3 years. And then Air Force right below them, Liberty, Western Kentucky, Coastal Carolina. They're in the mix as well, but it has been since 2014 that a Mountain West team has made it to a New Year's Six Bowl, and Boise State played in the Fiesta Bowl. A lot of money associated if you can get into that New Year's Six Bowl slot. It is the top group of 5 champions. So I think I would say 50% the winner of the American Athletic, and then 30% the winner of the Mountain West. I do think Boise State has a legitimate shot. They do have a pretty hard non-conference schedule, including a game against Washington and UCF. I think if they're able to win one of those 2, I think they put themselves in a really good spot to get back to a New Year's Six Bowl.
Okay, it would be nice to not see that streak go past a decade when you're talking Mountain West schools not in the New Year's Six.
Yes.
So Boise State, Air Force, we'll see if they can make some
noise. And even
noise.
more important the following year, because that'll be the 12-team playoff
the
mold.
next year, yeah.
So then the top group of 5 champion will then get into the playoffs. So I think if they can set that standard that they're still one of the better group of 5s out there, I think that'd be a really good sign this year.
Okay. Next question, John Johnson. He wants Chris. This is good. Pick the best realignment schools in football, basketball, and baseball for the Mountain West. So this is your wish list, essentially, or
And
what?
I think it's interesting because it's not the full athletic department. If you could just pluck the best football school and put it in the Mountain West, I'd go North Dakota State. They obviously have been fantastic at the FCS level. They've won championship after championship. I think they'd be a really good fit in the Mountain West. Yeah, you're going a little far east there, but that'd be my football team pick. Right behind them, I go Montana State. In terms of basketball, obviously everybody would like to say Gonzaga, but realistically, I think St. Mary's would be a good add. It's right there on the West Coast. It's very good travel. And as long as Randy Bennett is their head coach, they're going to be an NCAA tournament team. And then on the baseball side, it was really between 2 schools. It was Long Beach State or UC Irvine. Both have been really good powers. I think getting a very good team in the Los Angeles area would be very big for the Mountain West because I think you can recruit Southern California even better if you have a team in LA. And Long Beach State has been one of the better programs on the West Coast for the last 20, 30 years. So if all those joined and made one athletic department, I think that'd be a really nice add for the Mountain West. But I don't think they're adding anybody unless they lose multiple schools. We'll see if San Diego State and Boise State were to jump. Then they've got to figure out some schools. But as we've seen, it's hard to get a power conference invitation. San Diego State's been begging for that for a couple years now.
That's right. And I remember as I was wrapping up my time in Spokane covering Gonzaga, there was chatter, would have been 2018, about Gonzaga flirting with the Mountain West, and it felt like it had some real traction that it might actually happen. And I was thinking, man, this team I'm covering now might go play the team that I used to cover and the school I used to attend. That would be pretty sweet. Did not end up coming to fruition. And I think over there in Spokane, we were speculating that, Mark Few was playing hardball a little bit with the WCC,
for sure,
which at that point was led by current Mountain West Commissioner Gloria Nevarez. And of course, the WCC ends up restructuring its conference tournament to sort of make way for Gonzaga and St. Mary's to kind of get to skip the first couple rounds of that. But needless to say, they've always kind of dangled that Gonzaga to the Mountain West thing, and it's probably not going to happen.
Probably not going to happen. I think Gonzaga even got bigger shares of their NCAA tournament units as well. So I remember talking with Navarez, and she said they could even maybe do that in the Mountain West if it keeps schools in a little bit longer. But yeah, everybody would love to see Gonzaga in their basketball conference. They're a great team. They're a top 5 team year in and year out. Probably just not happen. It seems like they like their fit in the WCC.
Yeah, they kind of run that conference, and it's always fun when they get together with St. Mary's too. All right, Nick Durst wants to know, do you think UCLA or USC will win the Pac-12 title in football as it is their final year as a member. That would be a way to go out.
Yeah, I think USC does win the Pac-12, but it's no slam dunk. I mean, Utah won it last year. They beat USC up in the Pac-12 championship game. I think Washington's a very trendy college football championship kind of team. I think Oregon is always a team that's going to be in that CFP mix as well. So I think just generally the Pac-12 looks very, very solid. I think UCLA is going to be very strong. They have a true freshman, Dante Moore, quarterback, top 5 recruit in the nation. He's going to start as a true freshman. So Oregon State has really upgraded its team. I think that's 6 or 7 teams that are very strong in the Pac-12, and even the bottom of the conference is better. Arizona is not quite a laughingstock. I think Troy Taylor, the former head coach at Sac State, is going to do a good job at Stanford. And then obviously you got Coach Prime, Deion Sanders at Colorado. Same thing, top to bottom, the Pac-12 has kind of been overlooked as a power conference when it comes to football. Certainly they're going to have a huge loss when they lose USC and UCLA after this year to the Big Ten. But I do think Lincoln Riley, Caleb Williams, I think they win the Pac-12. I think they get to the college football playoff.
Nevada has a chance to spoil those efforts in week 1. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
the
we'll
Pac, a 38-point underdog. Should be a fun one, though. All right, last question. Tattooed Mormon Lawyer, also a fixture in the mailbag. When going to amusement parks, do you go multiple days with a regular pass and just wait in line, or do you go one day with that lightning lane or that fast pass? This strategy involved here.
There is strategy. We went to Disneyland December 2020, January 2021. So we did go 3 days. So we did the multiple days, but we also got the Genie Plus because I cannot stand in lines.
Yeah.
I'm not good at standing in lines, and I also got kids who are not good at standing in lines. So I do the combination of the both because we're not the Disneyland family that goes like 3 or 4 times a year. It's more like once every 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
So we don't want to be standing in lines. So we do
worth
the
splurging.
combination. I like amusement parks. So Six Flags over in Vallejo. We've gone there pretty recently, so good times. And Disneyland, you definitely need the Genie Plus because those lines can be crazy.
I will say that getting through lines is made more bearable if you first stop at the Spy Shop and you get one of those dollar snatchers, and then you just start messing with people in line. That has been my MO since I was a teenager, and I am not ashamed to admit I still do it as a man in his 30s because it is fun and it gets you through the line a little faster when you're snatching up dollars from unsuspecting people. I might be going somewhere I don't want to go. All right, coming up next on NSN Daily, we're going to go back to the Barracuda Championship. Chris has compiled a list of all 23 winners in the 25-year history of that event, and we're going to rank them. That's coming up next on Daily.